Huantar is found in the northern highlands in Peru, and it's from the Chavin culture, made over the period of 900 to 200 BCE, and it is made of stone. The building is the architectural complex, and then granite is what is used to make the lanzon and sculpture, and then gold is used to make this jewelry. So the context is that the local region is critical. This Chavin de Huantar exists on the banks of the Mosna and Wakechna rivers here, and that is called a tunki, where there is a convergence of two rivers, and it's thought to be a place where there's a harmonious meeting of opposing forces. So just religiously, spiritually, this location has importance. And then it is in the valley of the Andes Mountains, which are the second highest mountain peaks in the world. And it has a view toward the Watson Peak, which I think is about over here, which is one of the high peaks in the Andes. And in terms of location, it would also be on the trade routes between people who live in the highlands of the Andes and people who live in the Amazon, and people who live on the coast. So lots of people could gather here. It is an advanced culture, the Chavin culture. They created this sacred structure, which has walls that you can see are still together, despite hundreds of earthquakes yearly, walls that are 16 meters high. And then midway up these 16-meter walls are sculptures that are made of humans and animals. The function of this is that, as I say, it's a gathering place for the Chavin people, and people who come from 800 kilometers away gather here. And they're coming here to worship the gods, but they would leave behind artifacts from their cultures. And you can see from this line drawing that is ours that this is the site, and here it is, a recreation of the site. And then this stands for the rivers that are below. What's important to note is that this is a flat space where these two rivers join. And rather than use a flat space, which is pretty rare in the Andes Mountains, for agricultural purposes, they are using it for Chavin de Huantar, this temple. So it's a real significant nod to the spirituality of this location. So is the function of this to ensure a harvest? That's a kind of a question mark. Not sure if that's the case, but could be. And then this is one of the four images of this gold jewelry. And the function of this is that it would show allegiance to the Chavin religion. But since gold is pretty rare, it would also show the status of the person wearing it. You can see there are lots of these nose rings, this jewelry, some of them quite large, that cover the mouth of the person wearing them. Okay, in terms of content here, this is where pilgrims would have gathered. They would have gathered in this lower court here, or you can see it here on this recreation. And they would be listening to the voices inside of the shamans who are speaking to the gods. And you can see this edifice here, and it's represented here on this recreation. We think that people would have kind of popped out of the interior of the temple, and that would have added to the ceremony. Also, content on the inside of the building, there was this labyrinth of stairs and hallways. There were no windows, but there were those two vents that I pointed out already. And these tunnels are called galleries. And these tunnels, 2 kilometers in length all told, led to this supernatural being, this Lanzon. And it would have been the priests that would have been wandering these hallways, galleries, toward this Lanzon. And the voices outside would have been made by the priests who are inside, who are having a religious experience. They would have eaten or consumed San Pedro cactus, which is remnants of it have been found around this site as it's been excavated by archaeologists. And we know that San Pedro cactus is a hallucinogen. And you can see this is one of those two heads that I showed you would be mounted on the outside of those 16-meter walls. And the what's coming out of their nose is mucus, which is a side effect of consuming San Pedro cactus, that hallucinogen. Also on content, this nose ring, it contains images that are also found on the Lanzon and on other sculptural pieces in Chavin de Huantar, and you can see that this is actually a whisker, but yet it's shaped like a serpent. And then these swirls here, they mimic the kind of upward looking eyes. Oh, let's see if I can do that. Upward looking eyes of the animals, the felines that are featured in the Lanzon. Here's that upward looking eye. So this is the Lanzon, which is in the interior of Chavin de Huantar. It's 15 meters, excuse me, 15 feet tall, and it's made out of smooth granite. You can see that. And it is wedge shaped. So whatever is on this side is mimicked on the other side. And it is shaped like a digging stick that would have been used in that high mountainous Andes region. This is our third image associated with this piece, actually our fourth, and it is just this low relief sculpture. So we're back to low relief, and it is got what are called contour lines. Contour lines show like there's lines here that are used for this little piece of the image and this part of the image. I think that's more of a tooth. And so contour line, or excuse me, not contour lines, contour rivalry lines, they mix together and they make the piece difficult to be read. And so we think that that is intentional so that these can be read by priests or shaman. And the most common feature we see on these are the jaguar, and we're going to see that more closely in class. Okay, so the form of this nose ring is that it is got a little opening right there, and that clasps onto the septum of a person's nose, and it's made of gold that has been hammered. So we'll talk more about this piece in class. This is the Chavin de Huantar, found in the northern highlands of Peru, from the Chavin culture, made over a 700-year period from 900 to 200 BCE. It's made out of stone, and there is granite that the Lanzon and the sculpture are made out of, and the alloy jewelry is, or the jewelry is made out of a gold alloy.